Welcome to DIYeasycrafts and BergKnifemaking.com. Today we're going to take a look at how to make an elk-themed knife. In this first video, it's part one of a two-part series, we're going to cover the profiling, grinding the bevels, as well as heat treating and getting the knife ready for the blade etching. Now, this particular knife is made out of AEBL stainless steel. We're going to use the stock removal method of knife making. So I'm basically starting with a good piece of steel, and I'm just going to cut away and grind away everything that's not the knife. I used a bandsaw just to remove as much bulk as possible. I didn't spend a tremendous amount of time, getting close cuts to the lines. I had just traced this from a piece of paper. My customer had agreed to the profile. And then after I cut off the big chunks, I went over to the belt grinder using a coarse grit belt. I just brought the profile in to those magic marker lines, or Sharpie lines. Now notice I'm using a push stick for a lot of the work. That keeps my fingers away from the belt and also away from the heat generated from grinding. I used a mill drill press in order to drill the pinholes through the handle. And then I scribed two lines along the edge of the blade called railroad track lines. Now, even though I want to do a full blade etching on this, which means that I get more surface area if I do a full flat grind, I am actually going to start grinding bevels with a tilt table bevel grinding jig. This allows me to grind evenly right to those railroad track lines so that the bevel is very even along the edge. And then when I go after heat treating to grind the full flats, it's going to be a little bit easier, and I'm not going to grind past those railroad track lines. Anyway, after I get the rough bevels done, I wrap this blade in stainless tool wrap, and I make as airtight as possible envelope out of the tool wrap, double folds, and then it goes into a heat treating oven. It's 1960 degrees for a 15-minute hold time. When it comes out of the oven, it gets inserted in between two aluminum plates, or in this case, tubes that are clamped together, and then I blow air from a compressor to cool that off as quickly as possible. What's really nice about that is that clamping between the plates really keeps those blades straight. I then do a sub-zero quench just in between two blocks of dry ice for better edge retention. And then it goes through another process called tempering, which is just done in a kitchen oven, 395 degrees for 2 hours, 2 cycles of it. You let it, you keep it in the oven while it comes back to room temperature. Anyway, after the heat treating process, I'm going to go vertical on the same belt sander with a finer grit belt, and I'm just going to grind the full flats. And that's going to give me a nice surface area to work with for my blade etching on this knife. So on the next video, I'm going to start with etching this elk hunting themed full blade etching. I use self-adhesive vinyl, gauze wrap, an automotive car battery charger, as well as some white wine vinegar and salt in order to do the etching process. And then the finished product, I'm going to add some segmented scales. I'm actually going to inlay some elk ivory into the handles, as well as the customer's bullet casing onto the other side of the handle. I hope you enjoyed this short little video. If you did, I ask that you please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this YouTube channel. I would absolutely love it if you left some feedback in the feedback section. I'd like to give you an invite to join us on our Facebook group, Knives and Knife Making. And if you're interested in creating your own knives, check out the book that Jason Northgard and I put out a couple years ago called Introduction to Knife Making. You can find that on Amazon.com. Thank you very much.